All right. So, what are you doing? My goodness. All right. So, I want to tell y'all this story about this trip we made. We had a family trip, and it's gonna come out at the end of the day. We're gonna end up talking about like what it's like to follow God in a marriage. There's some people who are really great at it, and some people are still learning like we are. So hopefully, what we have to offer today will help those who are still learning. So anyway, so we took this trip to what Anaya thought was going to be boring Yellowstone Park, right? Because we're not really. We Anaya likes to do the beaches and stuff like that, but this one was
I'm a
more.
beach bunny.
Yeah.
I'm not like Yellowstone. Just seemed like, ugh. You looking at trees and rocks and mess, and I was
But
like, I'm not. I was not feeling it.
but you had a good time though, right?
You know what? Yellowstone is amazing.
It
It's
is.
really the
It's
trees
dope.
and the rocks and the whatever you. It's not the volcano. What is that?
Hot springs.
That with those rainbow colors.
Hot
That was
springs. I
hot.
think
Yeah,
that's
that
what they're
was
called.
really pretty to look at. My only grief was like, oh my God, don't trip and fall, because then you'll melt.
Well, because it's sulfur,
It
right?
was like, yeah, like, I was like, somebody said their dog. I heard a story where somebody's dog fell in, and then they went and rescued it, tried to jump in and rescued it. Did you see that story?
No, I don't
And
want
then both the dog and the man died. It's
to.
like,
Okay, maybe we're going to cut that out.
When I was there the whole
gosh.
time, I was like, hold on to the kids. Don't let them, you can't let your kids run around and stuff.
Yeah.
My kids ain't falling in there.
Well, they was kind of little. We still hold them anyway.
Yeah, we was carrying it. But
So
I was
anyways.
like, I was watching each step that I stepped. I'm not melting in the hot spring. That's not how I'm checking out my hotel.
Okay, that ain't how you checking out your hotel. So this is what happened. So we had this plan. It was kind of like a very loose plan. We were gonna drive through. Where's Yellowstone, in Wyoming or something like that? We drove through Yellowstone at the corner of the other half in Wyoming, and then we were supposed to like go straight through Wyoming and down to Vegas.
I was about to say, you said, where's Yellowstone? I was about to say the part of the country that's yellow.
Well,
rewind.
Well, okay. So anyway, so we go through Yellowstone, and I'm getting the reservations and stuff for Vegas so that we can drive all the way there. And Anaya's like, Jerron, but here's the thing, like Anaya was kind of like, Jerron, like, where are we gonna stay? And I was like, it's cool, let me get it. So I'm trying to call these people, getting ready to call and make some reservations, and I felt like the Holy Spirit saying, don't go to Vegas. So I'm trying to figure out how to like tell my wife that we're not going all the way, that we're not going to drive to Vegas. Because you know what? I did not have a reason, except for that I heard God. So I'm like, we're driving for a while. Like it was kind of like as we're going out, and Ned keeps on asking me like, where are we going to stay? Blah, blah, blah. I need us, we got to get somewhere to stay. And I'm like, ugh. Eventually I told her, right? Eventually I'm like, okay, like I feel like God saying that we should not go to Vegas. Her response was like, what'd you ask me?
Why come?
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much your normal response of why when I hear God asking me to do something really weird and I have to go to you in order to administrate this thing, usually it's why. So I'm just like, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? So eventually I give in. And I want to point out to you, pause the video, that's a bad thing to do. When you feel like God leading you to do a thing. even if you're not confident exactly about what the thing is. So I give in and we start driving. Or did we even try? Did we try? I think we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
We did. We did try. We tried to find a hotel and we had a hard time.
It was a rainstorm. It was raining.
No, before it started raining, we tried to find a hotel and then we started driving.
Yeah, we started driving. And
That's what
and
happened.
it started raining really hard. And you know, when you like in the mountains and stuff, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance.
With no street lights, it was dark.
It wasn't no street lights.
Straight up darkness.
So if you better hold control of your car.
Yeah. Real talk.
The moment you let it go, you only get one shot.
And on top of that, it was an accident. So not only
it was raining, we was in the mountains. You have to look really you have to be very careful because you can fall off the edge and then that's the end of you. And I think what happened, didn't we hit a rock? We hit a rock and I was like, no, our tire hit a rock and I'm like, okay, I'm done. We need to turn around.
Because we had to wait in that line because there was an accident and it was like a 2-lane highway and it was this long line. So it was like all this time building up, hours on hours, where we could have been in a hotel, but we were having to wait. And then when we finally got going, it was like raining and extra dark. And then we hit the rock and we was like,
I was like, it's time to go.
Time to go.
Time to go. She ain't doing it.
We hightail it back and we finally go get a hotel.
No, we couldn't find a hotel.
We had a hard time. We didn't have no reservations.
We didn't have any what did it call it? Your antenna on our phone, so we had to go into a place and kind of
pull in a McDonald's parking lot in order to get the
their
reservation.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So that was like an extreme kind of example, because here's my deal. What I've learned about that is like, number one, if you feel like God leading you to do something, try your best not to give in. That's the one place that I have a hard time. Especially when my wife is like, why? And I don't know why, because God don't tell me why. I'm not king.
Usually when I be like, Dron, God tell me to do this, Dron be like, okay, come on, let's do that then.
It's a non-event most of the time.
When he be like, Anea, let's do this. And I'd be like, well, why? And he sometimes he won't be like, because God said that.
I just don't want to be playing the God card all the time. But
I don't know what's going on, so I'll ask like why, because I'm like, well, what's the reason? Like, what are we doing? But you know, it's when you have a spouse, it's mutual. Let me lean on this person. Let me figure out, like, you know, you have to have a mutual trust, because sometimes you can get it wrong. Yeah. Sometimes I've gotten it wrong. Sometimes he's gotten it wrong.
That's true.
And, you know, sometimes we've gotten it wrong together.
Yeah.
You know, that's why God's grace exists.
Yeah, but the thing is that we've had a couple times where God has actually kind of like confirmed it in both of us. It's actually a lot more rare that he confirms it in both of us than I think it's mostly like to shape us in any case. But I guess at the end of the day, like, you do have to have mutual trust. But you know, my best advice, I guess, from somebody who's learning how to kind of like be less accommodating in this way is, well, to be less accommodating when you hear God. Because the thing is that if you don't know why God is telling you something, because generally he's not going to tell you, you don't want to find out the hard way.
Facts.
You just don't. You don't want to find out the hard way, man. So lean in, prayer life, Bible life, worship life, so that you can hear the voice of God and have him lead you, because he just wants the best for you. He really does. He wants to be close, and he wants the best for you, even when it's uncomfortable to do the thing that he's asking you to do.
And don't let your kids run around Yellowstone.
Ask Moses about that.
What?
Ask Moses about it.
Yellowstone?
No, not Yellowstone. God had Moses doing an uncomfortable thing. God had Abraham doing an uncomfortable thing. God had David doing an uncomfortable thing. He asked Saul to do an uncomfortable thing, but he failed. He asked who else? Elijah to do an uncomfortable thing, and they tried to kill him for it. He asked Gideon
people
to do an uncomfortable thing, and
He
Gideon
asked
was like,
Nehemiah. Everybody. He always asks everybody to do uncomfortable stuff.
Prove it.
That's what he do.
I don't really know.
That's what he do.
Yeah. So, anyways, but you know, he's good though. He's good, and he's always you know, got our best interests at heart. So, anyways, guys, I hope that was, you know, helpful for you. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.